This video is sponsored by Evage, makers of this wall-hanging planter with 15 wide-mouth vessels. It's perfect for propagations. For more information on this product and a 20% discount code, see the links in the description box of this video. Now, let's get on to our video. Hello and welcome to Peggy's Plants, coming to you from Central Florida. Today I'd like to share with you some plants I purchased from Ecuagenera.com. Now they do have an Ecuagenera US, which is located in the United States here in Florida, but I didn't purchase from that website. I purchased from the website in Ecuador. So these are imported plants from Ecuagenera's Ecuador site. So let's get in here and see what we have. As you know, anytime you import plants, you run the risk of getting a box of dead plants because they do go through a lot to get here. Here's the logo and everything on the inside of the box. And so hopefully these plants fared well. One thing I can say already is these plants appear to be very well packaged. As you can see, there's a lot of shredded paper here on top. And it looks like a waste of paper, but it really isn't. It's to keep the plants from moving around within the box so that the leaves don't end up bruised. The less movement in that box, the better. Also, they include a packing slip. So this just names the plants that I purchased. And now to the plants. The first one we see here is packaged in craft paper, which is always a good thing versus plastic because the plastic holds condensation. And here is what we have. Very excited. I like companies that include a labeling stick because then that's less for me to have to do to label it. And I can just, pot the plant up, pop the label stick in there. Love that. But like I was saying, these are packaged individually in paper, which is always a good thing in my book. Packaged individually in that way, if one plant has a fungus or an issue, it doesn't pass it on to the rest of the plants like it would if they were all packaged together. And look at this. Yes, this is a Philodendron melanochrysum. I do have one of these. Well, I have a few of these that I made from propagations from a larger plant that I had, but it wasn't this nice and big. Very excited. And we always have to take a look at the roots because you don't know what you're working with until you see the roots of the plant. And I'm a little concerned about the roots on this plant. They seem to be dry and brittle. Yeah, they were packaged in moss, but the moss had dried out. So I'm a little concerned. Hopefully they will plump up. Moving on to plant number 2. Another thing I've noticed right now is like some of the plants that were very, very popular in the past year and a half, the prices seem to be coming down on some of those on different websites. So if you've been holding off on a plant that you really want because of price, you might want to go check out some of these websites and see that the prices have come down. I got all of these for what I feel was a very reasonable price. I'm not going to say what I paid for them because I don't feel like being lectured on what I paid for plants. But just pop on over to Ecuagenera.com and you can see what the prices are and what the fees are as well for having them shipped into the U.S. And no, I'm not getting anything from the company free. I paid for my shipping and they are not sponsoring this video. Now this plant has the shredded paper actually in between the leaves of the plant. So they really put some care into the packaging of this plant. In fact, I don't even think I've ever seen a company do this before. Very nice. And this is the plant that I am most excited about, so I'm glad that the care was taken. All right, just a second and you will see that it is an Anthurium war rock. I can't speak today. What a beautiful plant. I've always wanted a big war rock, and it was just because of the price I thought that I would not have one. And I happened to be ordering plants. They had a sale going on, and I had to get this plant. So again, let's take a look at those roots. And again, I'm a little concerned. There are plenty of roots here, but they are dry, so I don't know if they're viable. So I will sit these in water for a little while, and I'm going to put them in leca. All right, clean this up, and we are on to our final plant, plant number 3. And after that, I will show you what the plants look like after 2 weeks. Because like I said, imported plants go through a lot to get here. They go into shock. You can lose all the leaves. This is a Verrucosum Amazon Sunset. Now, I've purchased this plant once before. It didn't fare well at all, and it's such a pretty plant. I had to get it again. I don't really do a lot of buying what I've killed before, but in this case, I decided to make an exception because I think this plant is absolutely beautiful. Wow, and here she is. This plant, I'm telling you, I forgot just how pretty it is. This is the Amazon Sunset, and it looks gorgeous. But don't let the looks deceive you, because this is how mine looked last time I purchased it. And within a week, it had lost all the leaves and the plant didn't make it. But look at all that color, and it has the fuzzy petioles. Can you see why I had to try it again? And here's a 2-week update on those plants. This is what the melanochrysum looked like. As you recall, I was a little concerned about the roots. Well, the roots did end up being an issue. They don't seem to be viable at all. However, I did, like I said, and I potted the plant up in leca, and it seems to be doing okay. I have it in my grow tent. It did drop a few leaves. They turned yellow and dropped. But other than that, these seem to be hanging in there. So I'm hoping that it's either growing some viable roots, or some of the roots that I thought, weren't viable are. But so far, after 2 weeks, this is what it looks like. And it's hanging in there, and it's hanging in there with some leaves. And it actually has that same one that was trying to unfurl when I received this plant. It's still there, and it's still looking like it might unfurl, so it didn't blast, so I'm excited about that. Moving on to plant number 2 was the Anthurium war rock. Some people have a great time with war rocks. For me, with Anthuriums, for me, it's always been a challenge, and these roots have not helped me at all. They were dried up and crispy. And this is what the plant looks like now, 2 weeks later. It hasn't dropped the leaves, but they don't seem to be really getting hydrated. So hopefully the plant will eventually start growing some roots, or I don't know. Hopefully it will begin to grow some roots that are viable and can, take in some water. I have it planted in leca, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put this in the grow tent as well. And finally, the Verrucosum. Well, just like the last one, this is what's left of my Verrucosum. Just this little nub that was there. All of the leaves were gone within, I think, 2 days, but the company is replacing them. So that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.